I know. That title, Being Popular is Easy, actually, probably sounds a little crazy, right? But stick with me here, because we're about to break down a system that shows why that seemingly impossible claim is, well, way more true than you think.
I mean, haven't we all felt this? Like everyone else got the instruction manual for how to be a person and we're just winging it? It's such a common feeling. But here's the thing. What if that whole feeling is based on something that's just wrong?
So, here's the big shift in thinking. We're going to throw out the idea that popularity is some kind of magic, some it factor you're either born with or you're not. It's not. It's a system. And the great thing about a system, you can learn it. You can actually apply it. So, let's map it out. Okay, first things first, we have to deconstruct the problem. In this first part, popularity isn't magic. We're just going to clear away all the myths and the junk that gets in the way of seeing how this really works. This is probably the biggest trap we all fall into. We wait to feel social. We wait for this magical burst of energy or confidence before we talk to someone, thinking, oh, I'll network when I'm in the right mood. But that is completely backward. So what if we have it all flipped around? What if motivation isn't the cause, but it's actually the effect? What if taking a tiny bit of action is the very thing that creates the motivation you were waiting for all along? Honestly, this one idea unlocks the entire thing. And that idea flows directly into what the source material calls the popularity cycle. Think of this as the engine that's going to generate all of your social momentum. The cycle itself is beautifully simple. It all starts with just one positive interaction. That tiny success gives you a little jolt, a motivation boost. And that boost makes you want to do it again. So you seek out another interaction. And with every new conversation, you're gathering what the source calls social data. You're just getting a little better, a little smoother. The interactions improve, and the whole cycle just starts to spin faster and faster. This quote just nails it. Treat a social interaction like a task. You don't wait for motivation to do the dishes. You just start, right? Just start working on it, and that momentum will build on its own. The feeling follows the action, not the other way around. Okay, but how do you actually create those first positive interactions to get the cycle spinning? Well, that brings us to the social leverage pyramid. This is your practical toolkit. So at the very bottom, the foundation of this pyramid, you've got labor. This is the most basic, fundamental way to provide social value. You just do things for people. You help them move, you grab them a coffee, you're the person who's always useful. Now, it's high effort, for sure, but it builds this rock-solid foundation of goodwill that people really, really appreciate. Moving up a level, we get to capital. This is basically about having assets that act as a social shortcut. You've got the great house for parties or the cool car for road trips. These are things that naturally create reasons for people to gather around you. It's a little less direct effort than labor, but yeah, it can definitely be expensive. And at the very top, the highest leverage point of all is media. In our world today, this is your social media presence, your personal brand. The source calls it a social calculator that works for you even when you're not there. A compelling online presence can connect you with tons of people all at once and kind of make them feel like they already know you before you've even met.
It's incredibly powerful.
All right, so now that we have the tools to create interactions, let's talk about what to do in them. This next section introduces what is probably my favorite idea from all this material: winning by losing. Think about it. When you're talking to someone new, what does it actually mean to win that conversation? Is it about proving you're right? Is it showing off how smart or witty you are? Well, our ego, our natural instinct, tells us to show off. We want to prove we're smart and interesting. But the winning strategy, the thing that actually works, is the complete opposite. It's not about you at all. It's about making them feel like the star of the show. The technique for this is called Socratic questioning, and it is beautifully simple. You just ask an endless stream of genuine questions about them, their job, their hobbies, their dog, whatever. And here's the incredible, kind of ironic part. By saying almost nothing about yourself, they will walk away thinking you are one of the most fascinating people they have ever met.
I love this phrase from the source, your gut logic. Don't trust your gut feeling, which just wants to talk about you. Trust your gut logic, which understands the system. Your one and only goal is to make the other person feel like they just won a Nobel Prize for their life story. If you can do that, you've won.
So, what's the core principle that really ties all of this together? Let's boil it all down to the final takeaway. Ultimately, it all comes down to this: stop chasing popularity. That needy kind of energy, it just tends to push people away. Instead, shift your focus entirely. Focus on providing value. Just ask yourself, how can I make this person's next 5 minutes a little bit better?
And value doesn't have to be some huge, grand gesture. It can be as simple and as powerful as being the one person who puts their phone down, makes eye contact, and truly, genuinely listens to what someone has to say.
So I'll leave you with this question. This isn't about some big, scary plan for tomorrow. It's about starting that cycle right now. What's one small piece of value, a compliment, a helping hand, or maybe just your undivided attention that you can offer to someone today?